If I told you a month and a half ago that we'd be one loss in regulation over the last 16 games, what would you say?
Well, I would have hoped that that was the case for sure. At that time, we were coming out of the Christmas break, and I really felt we were finding our footing as a team. We were starting to get healthy, which was a big thing. And for the team to gather points in that many games and over that period of time, for me, that's a huge feather in the cap of our players. We haven't been perfect. We've lost a couple leads that we would have liked to get the 2 points in. But when you're in the points gathering business like we are right now, it's a good sign. But all that said, that's in the past. Tonight we're getting prepared for a really good Pittsburgh Penguins team that's going to push us in ways that other teams haven't, and we better be ready for them.
Is it different to prepare for a team that has, the star power and can play an up-tempo game, especially their top two, as opposed to, no disrespect to your last opponent, but that's a team that made you skate through the slough to make anything happen. Is it different when you're getting ready for a team that can play with this tempo and pace?
Yes, I think so. I think different teams present different problems, and as an NHL coaching staff, you're trying to be problem solvers. More importantly, you're trying to arm your players with the tools that they're going to need to be successful that night. Tonight's opponent obviously plays a high-tempo, very skilled type of hockey game. I think they've been on the wrong end of some results lately, but it's not because they weren't playing well or right in the game. I think they've been in those games. Circumstances have led to them not getting points, but they're they're a team that is well coached. They have unbelievable players, and we're going to be ready for them tonight.
They're also a very veteran-laden team. And are those teams a little bit harder to maybe break down because they're not going to maybe make as many mistakes?
Well, I don't know about harder to break down. I just think that we have to go into the game with a certain type of mindset. You said it, this team has a lot of veteran hockey players. They know how to win. They know what their recipe is to win. They know they have an identity that they need to play towards in order to have success. That's fine. That's their plan. That's what they do. I think and in a lot of cases, in most nights, it comes down to how hard your team is going to play. Are we prepared to play towards our identity and to understand that in order to have success tonight, we have to do certain things very well. It's our job as coaches to make sure our players understand that. And certainly tonight, if we don't, the other team has the people in their locker room that can make you pay if you're not sharp.
CC was the guy who got his career back on track here in Pittsburgh about 3 years ago. Carved out a role as a set comparing defenseman. What kind of role has he established here for you guys?
Yeah, well, they have a little bit different defense core, and they have had over the years here in Pittsburgh than we do in Edmonton. I think one of the things that we've learned about our group this year is that sometimes when we spread the minutes out amongst the many, so a lot of times we've dressed 7 defensemen, we get good results. We have the flexibility to play with 60 or 70, but my impression of Cody has been a good one. Obviously, Dave Manson and I came up middle of the year last year. I didn't know everybody. He was one of the people I didn't know in the organization. But to be around him every day, I had a real appreciation for who he is as a professional. I got to see his work habits on a daily basis. And, he was involved in a lot of real big moments for us last year as a team. I think he's someone with some veteran presence. Lots of times his task was shutting down the other team's best players. He's on our penalty kill. He's an important person in our locker room.
Sidney Crosby's on pace for his 18th season of being a point game player or more. Yeah. Wayne Gretzky is first all-time with 19. What can you say about that longevity, and what do you think is attributed to that?
It's that longevity and that type of production, I believe, is attributable to his work ethic and skill, his determination. I've been lucky to be around him at a world championship, so I got to see it firsthand. He's somebody who, as is as impressive in the dressing room and in around the coaching staff than he is on the ice. That's the type of individual this person is. He's somebody who has set a standard of excellence. He's a great leader. Obviously, the amount of cups this team has won and the amount of long playoff runs that this team has gone on, I think are can be directly related to the people that they have in the locker room, and he's certainly going to go down as one of the best hockey players of all time.
Speaking of Crosby going up against Connor this evening, what's it like to, first of all, witness some of that history being made, two players both kind of on that elite status? And can you draw any comparisons or similarities between the two?
Yep. I think the first thing I would say is both are students of the game. Both are unbelievably hard workers. They're constantly looking to evolve or find edges, so they're not staying in the same place. Their game evolves. I think to witness head-to-head matchups, I got to see the very first one when I was an assistant coach here in Edmonton. I think usually top players get up for playing against other top players, and certainly those are two of the best in the game, but I would be remiss to think that dressing room over there is solely just Sidney Crosby. They got a lot of really good hockey players that we need to pay attention to and build a game plan around, and certainly our team and our people will be ready for those Penguins tonight.